Hey, good Friday to everybody.
How you doing, everybody?
It is pouring outside.
Was it Redneck Friday?
It is. We just came
with
from
NASCAR racing tomorrow.
NASCAR race.
Oh yeah.
There's like a flood. There's a couple like 2x2 animals outside. Your boy,
Moses. Moses. Well, hey, welcome to Talkin Wrestling. I'm Greco Moses. To my right is Mike Foss, and behind us is John Goodbody. And hopefully we've got some people checking in tonight in this awesome weather. Hey, before we get started, Foss, how about that me whipping out in front of that sheriff yesterday on the way home after practice?
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was. I almost thought I'd have to pull out or pull like you get pulled over, and I would have to talk you down.
Exactly.
From the
I pull right out of school and turn on to whatever the main road is, and I'm like, oh, there's a car coming. I got it. And he just whipped it right out, just gunned it. And next thing I know, it's like, oh crap! I see headlights.
It was probably Jenkins, and you would have been.
Well, Jenkins,
he's
fine, but he'd probably heard by then. Yeah, he'd been on
Jenkins
me like
pulled me and Boss over one night, and we were
for no reason, just because
he wanted to make fun of Paul.
Yeah,
right.
That's the
lights flashing after the football game. Pulls me over. I did nothing. Comes up.
Jenkins has been watching this stuff.
Has he?
Trouble.
I swear,
you guys are in trouble. So shout out, Jenkins, good guy. Good guy. Wrestled for Meadowbrook with Dan Austin.
Oh, okay.
True story.
Back in the day. Well, then I pulled out onto 95, and I just I let her rip. I'm just so competitive. I didn't want you to come past me, so I was going like 80.
I was following you, and I was like, I beaten Greco Moses.
Yeah, I'm so competitive with everything that
in your little female eclipse, you will race in the Prius.
Yes.
That is
it's like girl-on-girl action there.
The girly eclipse. He who cannot fit in the girly eclipse. Oh, man.
I got it.
All right, our sponsor this week, Dr. Brown's Diet Cream Soda, guys.
Ooh.
The doctor makes house calls, as you well know, and in this case, is here with us today. Enjoy it now.
He delivers cream soda.
Yes, Diet Cream Soda. If you're watching there's also regular. If you're not watching your physique.
Oh, we got a big show ahead of us tonight. So hopefully somebody out there is watching. I have posted on Facebook that we are now live, and maybe the weather is keeping people in. I don't know.
Yeah, more people maybe.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Stuck in the rain. Watch us.
Yeah, we got our chat window open. Feel free to shoot your questions as long as they're appropriate.
This week's free T-shirt. Spring Valley Wrestling, former New Kent wrestler Anthony Mina is the coach there, starting a program there in West Virginia, outside the beautiful town of Charleston. Not the dance, the town. And he gave me this shirt this week. Thanks a lot, Anthony.
What are you saying?
Great job.
I got the Falcon Wrestling, Nation Ford High School, South Carolina. My old high school wrestling coach, Paul Richardson, started the program down there. He's coached a couple state champs down there. And, he's not coaching there right now. He's just coaching football and living his life and stuff. But, man, did a good job getting that program rolling. And, they're right down the street from Fort Mill, which is a pretty good program down there.
Wrestled some Fort Mill kids down there at the WRAL.
I do not have a
Jerry Barker.
It's not a free shirt. I had to pay for this when I was out at the OTC, so I'm the loser of the day.
Send some free shirts in, people.
Yes, shirts.
Free shirts. We will wear them. And all the 5 people that watch this podcast.
I'll wear a big shirt. I don't care.
I'm a 2X. If you want me to look slim, I'll put the single on.
Probably the only podcast where the hosts outnumber the actual viewers. That's actually good.
I'll wear a singlet if you really want me to.
No. Anyway, we should probably get to task.
Yes.
The first thing, and I was talking to a wrestling parent over the weekend last week, and he mentioned, that he was talking to some other people that were watching our broadcast. They were at the War of the Shore in Jersey. And the parent was asking, why do they focus so much on Richmond, New Kent, and St. Chris? To be blunt and answer that, that's where we coach.
Yep.
So our focus tends to be on the areas where we coach.
We go by our experience, and that's our experience.
So we'll horse. But you notice that we've tried to get into international stuff. Get into on Greco. We talked about NCAAs and all that stuff. And later on we're going to actually talk a lot about the next year. this
Oh wait, he's
senior
not
recruiting class,
internationally
so,
known. My fault. Known to rock the microphone. That's my fault. I keep getting that confused.
But that is a good question, and like we're gonna mix it up, people. We got a lot of these coming.
Yeah.
But like I said, Central Virginia is where we're gonna be focusing, but it's all good.
You want to increase viewership? Put Goody in a singlet. You think
Yeah.
that's Steiny?
They got laws. They got laws here in Richmond.
Yeah, we're not ready
I
for
mean,
that.
from the waist down though, boys, that might be some good views.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Get that visual out of the way.
Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Segue really quick.
That's the PG-13 show.
Yeah, exactly.
Clean it up.
It's getting close to summer. We've got 30 days of school left.
36.
And the first question is, do you go summer camp, or do you just train your guys, or do you go both?
All right.
Well,
who's first?
Me and Foss talked about this last night. We do both. We keep training, obviously. We mainly train freestyle and Greco, and so probably after Southeast Regionals. And then those guys that are going to camp, we'll switch them over to folk style. And then those going to Fargo, we'll keep focused on freestyle and Greco. It is hard to manage the wrestling room like that.
Yeah.
But we do a good job managing it. We bring in some guys, some coaches, or whatever it is, depending on the numbers that we have. And we make sure our freestyle and Greco guys are getting the focus and attention they need. We also send them somewhere. I mean, you've taken some New Kent kids to St. Chris during that period while we're making that transition to folk style for our camp goers. But it's worked out well for us. I do think the benefit of a team camp is good for team bonding. We actually go to Lycoming wrestling camp up in PA.
Just take care of us. It's a good price, a fair price.
Dan Leal sets it all up. We travel with a bunch of central teams.
It's just the easiest stream. It's easiest, and you get a lot of bang for your buck at that camp. I don't want to downplay any other camps. It's just you get a lot of bang for your buck.
New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. And we get treated right. We get extra sessions. We've scrapped with Peaburg, Camden Catholic.
Yep.
That's what's tough New Jersey teams.
Do the coaches have
Clearfield? We get in for free.
Yes.
We've taken as many as 3 coaches. So.
I don't get to go this year. Thank you, Coach Bell, for getting married that weekend. Mm-hmm. Coach Foss has to go up there with Coach Shue, but it's all good.
Yes. Hopefully we will survive.
Let's give a little shout out to Papa Borgia and Little Borgia.
Those guys.
Yes. Papa Borgia wrestling.
Garden Spot, Lancaster County.
Okay, they're right across from Millersville University. Oh wait, no, that's
Borgia now coaches at Franklin and Marshall. Man, the bond that we develop up at camp with those coaches and everyone is awesome.
They're very close.
I brought an athlete to the Navy
family
just to kind of look around Navy and stuff, and I ran into Borgia from Franklin and Marshall, and he was so stoked to see me, man. That's awesome. But let's get back on topic.
But I do want to say that one thing I noticed about the Lycoming camp, the competition seemed not quite as good last year because we were in better shape. We had trained the hardest we ever did in the spring. Okay. And so we come in. We may not have been as talented as some of those
kids, you guys were in better shape.
But we were in better shape, and therefore it didn't seem as tough to me.
Okay.
Worked out well. Because we brought more talent. Guys with more talent up there, but they weren't in as good a shape, so it made it look like competition. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've taken guys to Jordan. I've been out to Virginia Tech, and their camps are going on. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Jeff Jordan's camp series, his state champ camp series, man. I've never been, but I've broken down a lot of footage or technique from that guy in that camp series. And wow.
I break it down like young MC.
Nice. That camp is awesome. The system of wrestling he shows. I know Hayfield's brought guys out there, the whole team.
Yeah. They organize it.
They organize
coming in Northern Virginia there.
Yeah, the thing with Jordan's camp is that it's no frills. You get a bologna sandwich at lunchtime. You're going to get pizza
Lebanon
for dinner.
style bologna? Lebanon, Virginia?
No. You're not getting Lebanon. No, you're not getting Lebanon bologna. You're getting Oscar Mayer straight from the deli, not even the deli counter. You're getting like the bulk from Sam's Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
you're not there for the food. You're there for the wrestling.
No, the wrestling, the battles going on, and when they do their live session at night, and he just he really teaches kids how to drill. like the first year the St. Chris kids went out there, they had no idea how to drill, and it really helped out. Now
we have a drill in our room that we call literally SPG drilling.
the SPG
from St. Paris Strand. It's a lot of hand fight involved and like just calling out like attacks and stuff, and it's just it's all part of the system and stuff. But I mean, it works, man. So the Jeff Jordan Camp Series, live combing, Virginia Tech's Camp Series. I mean, I'll stick on Virginia a little bit. Virginia Tech's Camp Series is getting to the point.
Yeah,
we took our kids out there a long time ago, right when Dresser got the job out there. And I mean, it was good. One of the coaches that we competed with in our conference was actually out there competing. It was one of his first years actually out there competing. Coach Eric Decker.
Right.
He was out there at Virginia Tech. And, but Dresser's really built that camp series.
I wonder how many of these podcasts he's watched thus far. He doesn't have like a lot of time.
Busy
kids.
Busy man.
Keel's been watching.
Keel,
you're out there.
Keel's running a tournament tomorrow, boys.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Now, one of the things I've noticed, like you have the Jay Robinson intensive camps.
I sent a.
Do they work?
I think so. Not just for wrestling purposes, but for life.
Right.
They just the mindset and the mental stuff and just pushing athletes through something they don't think they can achieve. I've only had one athlete that I've personally just coached go through that the 28th day.
Right.
I mean, of course, the club kids and stuff, that have been in the club have gone.
Right.
But just like a high school athlete, and it helped them out a lot. But when push came to shove, he still came out a little flat in some batches when it was big. But to be honest with you, and I've talked to him about it, it's helped him out more in the classroom when he got to college than it did when he was an athlete. Just because of his work ethic now. He knows that he can accomplish something if he just puts his mind to it and his body into it. And that kid spends hours upon hours in the labs at VCU trying to do his research and stuff.
I know who you're talking about.
He's achieving something special, and he went out there for that 28 days and did it make him a better wrestler? I thought so for his senior year, but bottom line is he even said it changed his life for
and that's success.
And that's what this sport's about.
I've had a couple of guys that were training for Fargo go out there, and when they got to Fargo, they were just so done that they were tired, they were lethargic, and it just I understand that if you're training for the next season. Maybe doing a camp like that.
You shouldn't go to J-Rob and go to Fargo. I mean, of course, if you're a top-level athlete, that's hard.
Yeah, that's real
hard. The way they train and stuff, I mean, it's different than a typical freestyle Greco training camp.
Yeah.
Where your focus should be.
That's a tough combination.
I mean, and of course, let's talk about Granby School Wrestling. I went there in between 8th and 9th grade. To be honest with you, of all the camps I attended, that was the camp I got the most technique at.
Is that now? There's two Granby camps.
Granby School is Martin and all of you guys.
And Granby system is Lawrence.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but I mean, I still have all those notebooks stuff when I went to that camp and all the notes I took on technique and stuff, and that Inside Tie B Block series they always huge product of. That's good stuff, man. And of course I wasn't a huge Granby guy off bottom. How you use it, just to kind of create space.
Right.
But, even in our room, I mean, we have Coach Silva, who was a product of the Granby School of Wrestling.
Yeah.
And, he helps us out tremendously with the bottom wrestling aspect of it. But, I don't know. I mean, for technique and stuff, it was the right, it was the right time for me between 8th and 9th grade. But I do think there's a lot better options out there.
I think that if you're I think that unless you're going to an upper echelon, technique, like Jordan camp, I think that you're better off going to a team camp because I think if you're in a program, you're getting that technique, and you're not going to learn a lot from a week, of technique from a week in the summer. Now, Goodbody was a guy who took notes and things like that. That's kind of a minority in the wrestling. I think it's better for a coach to see that technique, write it down, and then take it to the room. I think that's a better way of doing that. But
what about clinics? What do you guys feel on the clinics? I mean, in little camps and stuff.
If you get with clinics, it's sometimes it's a hard sell for the clinician. In the past, I've had guys like Jay Antonelli come in, Robert Herman, Greco guys, and have 10 kids in the room, and that was just kind of so it puts the clinician on bad terms, and but with the right clinician, getting the word out, really getting kids to come out, I think it can be great. Like we had Wade Chalice come in, and we had 50, 60 kids, and it was a blast.
We had Coach Garland from UVA come
Mhm.
over, and we had almost like 45, 50 there doing a clinic one night.
That's awesome.
Years ago.
A long time ago, we brought in like Joe Dubuque.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
we just did a little clinic, man, and that was awesome. That was like right when he got out of like college, and I was coaching at Princeton, man, and then like that was when I first met Blake Homan, one of our athletes at
Yeah, he
Duke.
went to
Right.
that.
But
Yeah, that's
just
a little bit.
bringing that topic up, I hate to be a little promotion for with local Virginia wrestling, but I got to do it, man. Talking to Coach Jones the other day,
Who
he
is
kinda gave me a
watching
heads up.
as we speak?
Yeah, he's there.
Kurt
You know-
Jones, 87.
I just want to give a shout out to the Hanover Hawkeye guys. They're putting a camp series together.
Good
And
group of guys.
those guys over there, man. Coach, Harris does
Good
an
group.
awesome job.
Yeah.
Coach Little does an awesome
Yeah.
job. Like I said, during the season, they gave us a lot of help, man. And
Yeah,
those are
appreciate
awesome
that.
dudes. And we don't get to send athletes their way too much, but I just want to promote their camp series, June 23rd to 28th. On various days, they're bringing in Matt Valenti, two-time national champ, Darius Little, All-American, who coaches there at the club, Kyle Borshoff of American, two-time All-American,
Good times.
Quentin Godley, who's an NC State boy who's been on the national scene for freestyle right now. He's battled with David Taylor and Jordan Burroughs. You can see his film and stuff. And then Montel Marion, two-time NCAA finalist.
Nice.
And,
Nice.
that's a good little camp series that's coming to local Central Virginia, and little Ferrum Wrestling. They're doing all their stuff at the Black Hawk Gym, which is an awesome facility out in Powhatan. Coach Yetzer and Coach Brandon Bradley. Brandon Bradley's a local Virginia boy.
And right, good.
Coach Yetzer's doing a
Good
great
guys.
job out there at Ferrum. And they're doing a lot of stuff at Powhatan. I don't have the dates off the top of my head, and I apologize for that, but they're doing good stuff. And then one last one,
Body.
North Chesterfield Youth Wrestling. Coach Jordan Dix, Coach Zach Anderson, guys from my generation
fellas.
who I used to train with. Great human beings,
Beat
man.
the dog out
Love
of
the
us.
sport.
Yeah, they do.
June 1st, they're bringing in Ross Katomer.
Oh.
The biggest fan that we have, probably the only
That's
fan we have.
scrub. Why they bringing him in?
This is all James River High School. On June 8th, they're bringing in Kurt Jones, who's watching this right now.
That's scrub. Why they bringing him in?
Kurt, two-time state finalist, wrestled at UNC Pembroke. He's a great coach in this area.
These guys are both
well-respected.
really good.
And then
That's
they're also
a good
bringing
group.
in St. Chris boy. June. They think they moved the date. I just read that today. I have June 15th right now, but I think it's like the 22nd. June 22nd, they're bringing in Tyler Hamlin, who's coaching a club, man. I don't know where that is, but that's awesome. That's a kid that's a local boy you haven't heard about in a while. Give it back to the sport.
It's a
I
two-time
love it,
prep
man.
All-American, three-time state champion for St. Chris.
I love it. I know this is an unscripted show, but I had to give a little props to those guys.
Turn off the
Man.
TV.
They're doing it up for our local Virginia wrestling and helping us
watching
out.
TV.
Giving back to the kids no matter what the age group and ability is.
Absolutely. It's good to, it's a lot of good local things going on, and we're just kind of ramping things up. So speaking of ramping things up, let's go to Vegas and talk about the U.S. Viva Las Vegas. Let's talk about the U.S. Open. A lot of interesting stuff. If you got an opportunity to watch it, unfortunately, if you have Comcast, you weren't able to watch it live on TV, but they were streaming it on the internet on Flow and other places. Yeah, just some things that popped out of my mind. How about that Taylor Burroughs match in the finals?
What? I'm sorry, my brother just texted me bull urine. I don't know if that was appropriate for the podcast, but
What?
I don't know what he's talking
What did
about.
he say?
Bull urine.
Bullier?
Maybe
He's probably trying to make me laugh or something.
Bullier?
Taylor had cradles locked. I did not see the match.
Yeah,
Jordan was getting in, and then DT was just kind of cutting the angle, and David Taylor was cutting the angle on him, kind of just locking up cradle and hitting those suicide roll through cradles, scoring 2 exposure points off of it. Did it twice.
Yeah.
But the best part of that match was Jordan Burroughs not giving up.
Yeah.
Just
He just goes. He's a goer.
we scored 2 takedowns in the last 30 seconds against one of the best guys in not in just the country but in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
David Taylor wrestled a smart match. But I'll be honest, when he stopped moving his hands and stopped moving his feet, he just kind of shut down when he was 6'3". that's when that match was over.
Mistake.
You
Yeah,
gotta finish.
You got to keep wrestling.
you can't do
Keep
that
wrestling.
with an Olympic champion. You know that
All levels.
when that guy's down, he's coming at you even more. You know, if you're going to protect the lead, you know, you got to keep your hands moving, get your hands on him, close him down with a 2-on-1 or something like that. I mean, but nevertheless, I mean, that's going to be a freaking
one of the best matches I've seen in a long time, maybe ever. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. It was just so phenomenal. Like even the guys from Universal Sports who was doing it and NBC Universal, they were excited. You know, usually you see those matches, you get the flow guys going nuts.
Yeah.
But to see like guys like Jake Herbert and just like
They get
these
excited.
things, you know, they were pumped, and it was awesome to
Right.
see. I was more impressed, man, with Jimmy Kennedy.
That was my next guy, Jimmy Kennedy,
Like,
over Olympic bronze medalist Coleman Scott.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk about Jimmy Kennedy a little bit later when we talk about the technique and stuff. But dude, what a great tournament for Jimmy Kennedy, man. He's had a great year.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of unknown on the freestyle circuit until this year. He just kind of
Weird tidbit I came across though.
Uh-huh.
David Taylor is dating Jimmy's sister.
Oh, that's got to be
It's
awkward.
It's weird.
Awkward in the
Weird.
locker room.
Weird tidbit. Came across it online.
wow.
It was a little weird that I came across.
wow, you're like doing your research for these things.
Yeah, man.
How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, and Brent Metcalf, you know, I think the new freestyle rules.
Guy has more than a lefty high C, buddy.
Well, you know,
He scores off that all day, but man, he was taking some snaps to his head on inside on the opposite, on the attacking the right side.
right.
And I mean, he wasn't getting the leg all the time, but he was creating action, and it was that's one of the reasons that Keelan got hit for passivity,
Right.
and one of the reasons that Keelan couldn't get his offense.
You mean Kellen
Keelan
Russell?
Ross is gonna get
It's
in.
like potato.
Yeah,
too.
potato. But I mean, Metcalf looked good, man.
John just went all TMZ on this podcast. Yes, user 618710. Yeah, he got that little bit of social information. He was digging on.
You type in David Taylor onto Google, New Kent's David Taylor pops up, but also the Penn State one, and that just happened to come across, man. Learner.
Yes, only Goody would get that random information. Hey, how about Jake Varner coming back and blowing through the field?
Like,
Good
man.
times.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy.
Good job.
Dude, his ankle picks, I mean, I know he's trained by Kale, kind of like Kale's like boy,
Right.
but dude, he barely level changes.
Yeah.
Like, he's just heavy hands, kind of hangs on a collar, and like level changes a little bit and just explodes through guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Now-
His level changing, like, he does a good job though. He was a clinician up at Lycoming.
Mhm.
He did a good job.
Yeah,
You know? And he showed a lot of really simple technique.
Did he do
When
a
they
good
bring
job?
this big, bring this big names in, it is a lot of you have to coach to a big room, but they did pretty well with that.
Right.
But also, man, Keith Gavin.
Didn't watch it.
That whole weight was unbelievable. Ed
Right.
Ruth is going to be if he focuses on it, that guy is going to be a world beater in freestyle. I mean, he puts up points.
Yeah.
He gives up too many points, so that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And coach athleticism.
You know, in at the highest levels, in freestyle and Greco, yeah, you can. It's great to score points, but you can't give up points.
Like,
Can't
match
give
with
up
Clayton
points.
Foster, that's another
You
great
think
match.
that can
Yeah.
come though? That can come with more experience.
I think so, because he hasn't wrestled freestyle
Yeah,
really
that's
since
what I mean.
high school.
Yeah.
So and it's a different type of freestyle wrestling that we have now. So it's going to take a while,
But Keith Gavin, man, the guy who won that weight,
Mhm.
that guy, he's probably one of the more European guys that we have in the United States for wrestling.
But ironically,
The way he
sounds
plays.
like a country music
Well,
singer.
he's a Pennsylvania boy, man.
Like he would sing like
see him at the
some sort of
country or the county
Um,
fair.
dog
Sammy
dying
Hazewinkle.
song.
Great beard on that dude.
Hazewinkle, he's
Oh,
I
awesome.
loves
My
beards.
future brother-in-law, though, had you stuck, though, at an NHSCA event, but you did not slap the mat.
Controversy.
But you did tech him, so I guess it wasn't a big
Well,
deal.
Hey,
But, Sammy, the kid wrestled smart. I mean, Hofstrasser, I can't pronounce your name.
The kid from Boise State.
Yeah. That kid got injured during the match, but that weight man's going to be loaded. As long as Escobedo gets healthy.
What happened to Escobedo?
I don't know.
He got pinned
He was
and
up big that match.
and yeah, they must have gotten hurt then because he didn't wrestle.
He's
his
one of
next
he's
match.
probably my favorite guy at that weight.
Escobedo.
Yeah.
He's he wrestles hard, and to see him, he was the #1 seed going in, took 5th in the world last year, and then I didn't see any of the matches to see that he got pinned and then
Wasn't even a starter.
concussion.
concussion.
Ah.
And this is why
Was it concussion?
Is that
this is why we
We
depend.
have 3 different viewers.
Well, no, we have 3, 4. We've got like
The people love us, man.
people love us.
But I don't know. That's gonna be a loaded weight class, you know. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I love how they're doing the world team trial stuff this year, splitting up the weights.
Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be some senior level wrestling up at Fargo, man.
Oh, it's gonna be
It's
nice.
it's gonna be exciting.
And they're doing the Greco World Team Trials down at Daytona during the cadet duels.
You
That's
going
good.
down there?
No, it's during exam
Ross,
week.
buddy,
Yeah,
Ross.
Ross will be down
Ross
there.
In it to win it.
And you know, the only two Greco matches that really from the finals that really stood out for me, you know, considering Greco Moses here, is Spencer Mango beating Joe Betterman 1-1, but he scored last. You know, it's a new weight class. Spencer moving up, giving up size. Betterman's huge.
What overtime needs to happen in these matches, but that's a whole nother story.
A lot of people have been saying that maybe, you know, they need to bring in overtime.
Extra wrestling.
Well, what's going on overseas? What do they feel? You know, over here it's a little bit different. We're used to overtime wrestling.
Yeah. And the other match of note was Javon Perkins down 4 or 5 points to Ellis Coleman. Hits a bear hug right to Coleman's back. I mean, just rolling pin, boom. I mean, there was nowhere Coleman could go. That was a surprise.
I mean, and Coleman was up the whole match.
Yeah, he was in charge of that match.
How about Lester though? And just the big throws that he was hitting.
Hitting a nice arm spin. We'll get to Campbell in a minute. Yeah,
That's big news.
Yeah, it is
we
big
may have
news.
to go off the chart here.
Is that my brother? That might be my brother, man. My brother texted me to talk
Well, Kurt did send me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, we need to make sure that we talk about Campbell." So
My guess is Kurt.
no, he's Kurt Jones 87. This is a user. So these are guests.
Oh.
But
Well,
we'll talk
welcome.
about. We mentioned
we might as well
mentioned
talk about-
women's real quick for freestyle. Helen Maroulis she's a beast.
Yeah.
You know, straight beast. Who's Alicia Lampe and Victoria Anthony, the really light girls,
Right.
under 5 pounds, how many kilos that is. That was a load of weight, man. Anthony was losing to Clarissa Chung
Mhm.
the whole match and like headlocked to throw it back and forth and then ended up winning.
Clarissa took last year off.
Yeah.
After the
Oh,
Olympics.
she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was a load of weight, man. Those girls can scrap.
Yeah, it's
You know, but and Helen Maroulis hit the same technique I'm going to talk about later that Jimmy Kennedy hit. And that I'm going to break down, man.
you're gonna break. You need a chalkboard.
I might actually use a dry erase board though, just to make it a little bit.
Of course. He's the dry erase meister.
Right, what's next?
We might as well talk about.
Let's get right into that.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's talk about
save this
Campbell.
one for later
Well,
because
we'll just
that's
go right into Campbell.
okay.
We're good on
We're good on
time.
time. We're great on time.
Yeah, hey fellas, we're good on time. We'll do one more.
Okay.
Yeah, it was announced. It's not official till Monday, but Kerry Colott will be taking over at Campbell University as their head coach. I think that's awesome.
That is awesome. They have a new wrestling room down there. There was nothing down there a couple years
Yeah.
ago, man. Holy crap.
North
I
Carolina,
wanna-
South Carolina,
North Carolina.
North Carolina,
Yeah.
but almost in South Carolina.
The home of the Camels.
Yes, the
Camel.
Camel. Yeah. And you know,
Not the cigarette.
from a coaching
That's a good
standpoint, you can't get a better technician and a guy with more intensity than Kerry Colott.
Extremely intense.
And you know, he's
Intensity.
The man, does he pull kids from UNC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
His kids
I think
went there.
D1
Yeah.
or D2?
oh, Campbell's D1. They're in the
D1,
Southern
okay.
Conference. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they're fully funded with 9.9. But you know, you get a marquee name like Kerry Colott as your coach. I would not
They
be
just hired a
surprised.
coach too. They hired that guy from Ohio.
Yeah, he was at Walsh Jesuit.
Yeah, Broadwater.
Broadwine.
something.
Yeah.
That's
It's a name.
I guess there was someone full of shoes.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's going to take Kerry a couple years, but
We'll get kids.
I think so. And you know, he demands his guys to work hard. I mean, he will push them hard, and you know, look for Campbell to make a run at the Southern Conference title in about 3 or 4 years.
I agree. That's
You know.
that's a bold prediction, but I agree. Who does he bring in as assistants?
We don't know.
Maybe they'll bring in the
Go
guy
get
that
kids.
beat him one time
Don't
from Richmond, Virginia.
start.
Or hunt you down and beat the crap out of you.
No, Kerry.
One of them.
Since we're talking about Kerry, no, that's actually it's an interesting, funny story. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, I'm out in Fargo, and you know, I go to breakfast early. There's really nobody in the dining hall, so I'm just kind of sitting by myself. and minding my own business. And in walks Carrie. And for those people, I'm sure everybody in Virginia knows, but for those people that are watching, Carrie Cole and I wrestled twice when we were younger, when we were cadets, and in the state finals for Greco, he beat the snot out of me, and I got a little bit of revenge in the national finals. I don't know how I won the match, but nevertheless, got my hand raised, and from that point on, I thought that Carrie wanted to pretty much kill me. So I'm sitting in the dining hall kind of by myself, and in walks Carrie, and he...
Usually by yourself.
I am not usually by myself. I've got Ed Metzger with me, okay? Ed Metzger. Anyway, Carrie comes over, just plants his tray down, and I'm kind of like, what's going to happen here? Are you going to choke me out or stab me with a knife? And,
there were knives. It was breakfast.
Yeah, it was breakfast. And in North Dakota, they still have actual silverware. They haven't...
they haven't plasticed it up.
No, because in North Dakota, everybody's so gosh darn friendly.
God, yeah.
You
bet
they're friendly. And, we just started talking, and, it was a really good conversation, just kind of catching up on things. And now when we run into each other, I don't fear for my life.
That's awesome. Squash, cadet finals, the past.
Yes. Do not grieve at grievances, Fargo.
Many moons ago, we're not those same people.
Yeah.
You're about the same height, though.
I have not grown. He at least grew.
Yeah.
I have not grown. Yes, I know. And we'll get to my height later.
You know what's crazy about him going to Campbell? I know he's been in North Carolina.
Where in North Carolina is that located?
The WVU job's still open.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of intriguing jobs still open.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he's going to Campbell, their wrestling room they built is nice, don't get me wrong, but facilities aren't amazing.
And, his family is not that far from Morgantown. His mom and dad live in Greene County, Pennsylvania. That's not that far from
Jefferson Morgan?
Jefferson Morgan High School, yeah.
I like Jefferson. I didn't really care for Morgan.
Who was Morgan? Was it J.P. Morgan?
That was a terrible, terrible joke.
I think it might have been J.P. Morgan.
And now the wrestling fans are like, all right, we're losing.
We lost. Literally, one of my wrestlers at New Kent tuned in one week, and we talked about the Ultimate Warrior for like 3 minutes. And he was like, I had to turn it off. We were talking about the Ultimate Warrior or something. And I was like, I didn't know who you were talking about.
And I finally figured out the beginning to episode 2 when you're in the back doing this. I was like, what is he doing? I was like,
he would do that. Come out to the
I know, on the ropes. And I finally got. I was like, Ultimate Warrior on the ropes. I was like, I thought you were just doing your little straight arm dance that you always
turned into my little straight arm. Not one of them things. But
I had back on time. What's next, man?
Let's talk about the incoming freshmen to the NCAA next year. Who's going to make the most impact?
Kyle Snyder.
Okay. Now, how does he do with Javon, or not with Javon Perkins, with Jaden Cox?
I think he beats them. They've had some battles before.
Yeah.
But I think his year, I know Jaden Cox.
Is he going to go 197?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now he's going to train with Haynes, Solanco, Lancaster County can survive.
Ohio State still has Tomasello there too, man.
At heavyweight?
Yeah.
So there's some good training partners there. But when you heard previous that they had gotten Haynes too, you were like,
four-time state champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was going to Ohio State.
The Ohio State recruiting class is loaded. And they redshirted Bo Jordan.
Yeah.
We talk about red shirts right now too.
Sure.
Bo Jordan too, man, from another Ohio State guy.
And you got his brother Micah or cousin.
Micah will redshirt this year. They're probably gonna try to get him a little bigger.
Now, the other thing is that it's going into the next guy here.
Chance Marcel, you think he redshirts out of Oklahoma State?
I think Chance will get right in it. He's not going to want to wait.
I agree, but Deeringer's trying to get big.
Yeah.
That could put a little amper.
God, that would be a hell of a wrestle off. Heck of a wrestle off. NCAA champion and Chance. 4-time PA State champ, Fargo champ. Would have been a cadet world champion had he not dislocated his elbow in the semifinals.
I don't know. I think of those guys that you have listed there, I think he has the chance to be the biggest.
Bo Nickel, though, man. That guy has been he's wrestled from 170 to 182 and even one of the best 195 pounders in the country recently, just in the All-Star matches. And he's getting his hand raised.
Yeah, he's going to be tough.
That guy. He'll throw the kitchen sink at you, man.
Locally, the recruiting of Novellis from California
Heavyweight.
to Penn State
Yeah.
over Haynes. Locally for me,
Dude, all
controversy.
the rankings of heavyweight, dude.
There's a number one. There's a guy above those.
Sam Stoll from Minnesota is still not the top guy.
Sam
that
Stone,
way.
right?
Sam
Stoll.
Stoll.
Okay.
You shall not mention Sam Stone on this podcast or that other person.
Again, the question came across. We are sponsored by
No, it's
Dr. Brown's Cream Ale. Yeah, that recruiting was a bit controversial. They said Kale brought in a guy from the other side of the country over Haynes, Slanko, which was a local guy, relatively local.
He might actually drink that.
So, anyway, but I think of those guys, Marstell is the guy I've seen. Really good kid. Didn't embarrass Kothi too much when he wrestled him. Very he's not very conceited for the level of wrestler he is.
I know he's not going to the NCAA's, but Aaron Pico's far above all those guys. Maybe not Kyle Snyder.
no.
But Aaron Pico's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean
But he would only be
he would be a junior in high school.
He's high school stuff.
Yeah.
But that
now
kid
is he going to go to college?
No.
Or is he
No,
going
he'll go to college, but
money.
he's going to train solely for freestyle and then MMA.
Okay.
He's already signed with an agent, so when he gets done with his wrestling career,
So he can't go to the Olympics.
no, he'll go to the Olympics.
Can you go to,
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just couldn't wrestle at NCAA.
yeah. The NCAA still has amateur status stuff. But let's see. Somebody said, "Can you talk about redshirting before or after your freshman year?" Now, I can give you, what would have worked in my case. When I graduated from high school, I was 17 years old, and I was a young 17.
Redshirt.
No, I didn't redshirt. I mean,
it's like that Kip Winger song. You were only 17.
Lord.
Only 17.
Anyway.
17.
So I had about a semester of college before I turned 18. And to be perfectly honest, I was not really prepared. Academically, I think so. But I think for wrestling, I could have used a year just to kind of get acclimated to the whole. Yeah, either that or do a PG year somewhere.
You were wondering. You went to a place that I don't even know for their. They don't really redshirt there, do they?
They do, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, talk to Prebish about Shorty Hitchcock and all the awesome stories he
Good
has.
stuff.
I mean, and we could do multiple podcasts.
I could do a whole episode about things about Millersville University, both good and bad. I think again going back to the redshirt thing, I think it depends on the maturity level of the kid. And now I know every kid and their parent thinks that they're mature enough to handle the highest level of wrestling, but the reality, I don't know.
It is unbelievable how many more true freshmen you're seeing make
Big jump.
impact. Yeah. Of course, you had Kyle Dake, Dustin Schlatter.
Yeah.
Slaughter. I can't remember what to say his name probably.
And now Jaden Cox.
Jaden Cox. I mean, you've had those true freshmen really make an impact.
Yeah.
But now it's happening all the time. Weatherford this year.
Yep.
What a great year that kid had.
And then you've got a redshirt freshman at 33 for Penn State who Jimmy Goulabon, 4-time PA state champion, who really didn't do much.
Is that a Franklin regional?
No, he was Derry Township.
Oh, okay.
I know he's a little off topic, but Goulabon, man, he's just I don't know if he's not big enough for the weight at 33.
I don't know. I don't
I
think
mean, sometimes he looks lights out. Sometimes he don't.
he needs a haircut.
Yeah,
He needs a
He
haircut.
kind of has a helmet on his head. It's all right, man.
Looks like one of those Lego cars.
Safety first. And how do you think Joey McKenna is going to do out at Stanford?
It was an interesting college choice, but I know him and Khalid were probably pretty close.
Yeah.
And Khalid's a California boy, but Khalid's going to Army.
Yeah.
But who's out there? Who's a 25-pounder right now? He was a former Blair kid. He's out there at Stanford right now.
Evan Silver.
Evan Silver, yeah.
Yeah.
So they already had that kind
He's
of
your type of
pipeline.
kid. It seems like from the outside, and it needs some sort like a little bit to take him under the wing. He needs some familiarity out there, and that's probably where get that academically great place, beautiful area of the country. So
Always set up for life after graduating from Stanford. But
Yeah.
and honestly, they've had success. I mean, Mr. Staggy,
Mango.
Evan Silver had a good year this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having good. They're having guys out there making noise.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's one of the first big recruits they've got.
Yeah.
I mean, that could set them up, going forward, man.
I think so. So it's gonna be interesting to see, how those, Micah Jordan think will redshirt. But it'll be interesting to see how they do next year.
I'm interested in Ohio State, man. Even though I'm not a huge follower of that program,
they're gonna be tough. Yeah.
And that's why they redshirted Hunter Stever this year too, man.
I think in another year or so, they're going to be the ones that are going to be the favorites to win the NCAA. I don't know what Penn State's going to.
Penn State will be fine, man. They do such a good job developing and recruiting.
Yeah.
But then you got Minnesota out there, who's always a wild.
And Oklahoma State had a pretty good NCAA tournament. Marsteller. I hope. I mean, I love the kid. Know his family really well. As a Penn State alum, I was disappointed when he decommitted, but I'm not going to trash the kid's name like a lot of people did. He made the decision to go to Oklahoma State. Obviously he saw something there that was going to be better than Penn State. So I hope the kid does well. He's a great kid.
What are people even talking about, man?
Just a variety of things. We talked about redshirting.
Yeah, I can't.
For some reason, there's a Marsteller question.
Yeah, people just probably wanted to be a Marsteller.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time, man?
We've got 40. We're at 41 minutes.
Woo!
Wow.
You got technique talk.
We got some techniques.
Hey, let's talk about technique.
Dude. Yes.
I do need to leave the room.
No, you don't need to leave the room. Jesus.
I do need to go to the bathroom. So.
Previous last night, we were showing some Greco stuff. We were filming it.
Greco.
As usual, we were doing the new Kent room, and Greco practiced the new Kent.
Greco.
Always showing some Greco.
Yada Greco.
But previous last night, he showed something that was pretty interesting. He showed 2-on-1 stuff, and he was showing basically like a 2-on-1 got pushed in the head, you go to a high dive off of it, or a step across duck. And I asked him, I was like, "Are you going to show the near duck?" And he had already kind of gone over that before in the room. And he said, "Yes, but I'm going to do it a little different." So he hits his 2-on-1, or it's not really a Russian type, more of a 2-on-1 because it's not really extended, a different type of angle on the arm.
I got my hands underneath.
But he rolls his hand in the inside, almost like it's an Iranian tie, but the guy's not hanging on a collar.
I'm on the pit of his elbow.
That's pretty much the best way to describe it. And Peevish was showing how to pull, and he hit a duck off this. That was clean. And it was fun to learn and kind of mess around with. Me and New Kent alum Brett Flora were messing around with it at one point, just kind of, before we walked around and helped the kids. But I wanted to, ask Prevish about if he does it for folk style.
I do. I use that. I use that. I might not even grab the wrist. I might not come over top and grab the wrist. I might just come inside and just kind of cover the pit of his elbow, and I'll hit a head outside by pulling his arm away from his body. Because most times, you think of either an elbow bind or an inside tie. But this is not quite an inside tie, and it's not quite an
Iranian, but the guy's not really hanging on a collar tie.
Yeah. I'm just controlling the pit of his elbow, and I'm just swinging it out. Head outside is right there. And I remember a few cases in practice hitting it on the same kid like 3-4 times. He had no idea what I was doing.
I messed around with that a little bit with the head on outside. I realized, it was cleaner from my natural side when I was attacking my opponent's right.
Right.
I was able to hit my head on outside. But then I started messing around with it to the left, the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wasn't treating it like pulling off a 2-on-1 because, you're not really going to get guys really going to that, collar tie where you can really pull it off there.
Right.
So I was messing around with some Iowa wrist grabs off of it and turning into a cross wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pulling some nice knee pulls off this stuff. So if you can, man, watch Prevish's technique that he posted up on that.
Post them on VA Wrestling and Central Region Wrestling.
And it's also on
.net.
GrecoMoses.com also.
GrecoMoses.com.
All of my technique is up there. I think there's 40 videos now.
You beating the crap out of Jack and Blake Holmes.
And I will say, one of the kids that I used to show technique on, Jackson Gray, and apparently, at the end of every video clip, he does a little. And the last technique that I showed, I went this morning, I was breaking it down, so, finding a good start, good finish point, so it wasn't like it looked kind of professional. And I always cut out the end. I didn't know Jackson was doing the point.
A handsome man.
Yeah. And the last show, the last throw that I showed was a gut wrench lift to a back arch, and it was just me and him and good body filming. So I didn't have to show it 100 times for the kids to drill. And the only natural stopping point for the video clip at the end was him going. So you'll have to check that out.
Nice.
It's on the
something else.
It's the third playlist. It's the last technique. A gut wrench
Gift that keeps on giving.
But
yeah,
another technique that I found pretty interesting. And of course, you learn a lot watching the U.S. Open. Some of the little stuff those guys. And then we could talk all day about what Gavin did to Clayton Foster in the finals.
Yeah.
That little overhook swim in front. That thing was just crazy. And in freestyle, folk style, folk style you give up 2 because the guy can adjust to a Merkle. Freestyle, the leg would be still into would be 2, but so we can talk about that. But I was impressed with this. I haven't broken down the technique, so bear with me, people. Like Jimmy Kennedy hit it, Helen Maroulis hit it. I know, Hayeswinkle tried to hit it, but Hofstrass's legs were so long. It's like they were finishing their leg attacks, and they were snaking across to an ankle. Almost like it was like a leg lace look, but it was like a cross ankle, and then they would take their right hand and go to almost like a deep waist or like a low claw, and they would treat it basically like a leg lace or like a gut. But you compared it when I was talking to you about it last night to a backbreaker,
bow and arrow.
That was it. And I haven't broken down the technique on that yet. So if anyone takes the time, watches the Jimmy Kennedy Matt McDonough match.
Take notes.
And, take some notes on that for me.
Send it in.
Me some time.
Along with that free T-shirt.
Yeah.
Send in those notes.
So
Deal box 100.
Because, if we're going to talk about this, that's the big difference in
New Kent Highway.
Flow Wrestling,
New Kent,
had a little article on it, which I found intriguing.
23141.
I'm talking.
23124.
Flow Wrestling had a little article talking about the main differences in American freestyle. We're not great in parterre.
We're not.
But in Greco, every time they're in parterre, they'll score.
Yeah. That the U.S. is scoring, or
well, at least at the U.S. Open, maybe not internationally.
Right.
And honestly, I think our freestyle guys need to train a little bit more with our Greco guys in parterre. Work with their guts and stuff, and just. Maybe the next Greco coach. They haven't hired anyone yet. Rob Prevish is interested.
No, I'm not. No.
But
he beat
the
Campbell coach.
No. I don't want that kind of pressure.
Yeah, but like I said, I think in freestyle in the United States we need to get better at parterre.
How much back cracking would
we spent a little bit more time in our room.
I'd farm it out though. I'd have an assistant coach that just did back cracking. I was like, that's your job.
You would bring Gordon in to back crack.
You can't bring John Gordon in to crack backs.
You're going to get back
My brother wants to hire you to come crack his back before soccer games.
I'm going to kick him in the kick his back. So, Foss.
Yes.
Let's talk about strength training.
Strength training.
Yeah. What kind of strength training are you guys doing out at New Kent?
We took the series from Good Pastor that trained David Taylor. He does a lot of it's simple stuff. You wrestling specific, stepping to that shot, lunging with weight, snap downs with various weights, whether it be like a lat pull down and you're standing, you're snapping, tricep pull down, things like that. Just stuff that I wouldn't think of. It's like, that's simple.
Everything's functionally.
Everything.
Functional movements for wrestling.
Side, your stance, just based on stance, strengthening your core so that you can stay in a stance for a long time and shoot quickly and strongly from each of those positions.
How much does it upset you when your guys are in the third period or even in practice when they start to get tired and stand straight up, stand straight up, stand straight up?
I'd have to say, I'm going to say this. I think that's one thing that with John coming on board at New Kent, I'm sorry we're going to talk about New Kent here, but I've not noticed that I think that we are in pretty good shape, and I rarely see anybody in better shape than us.
Right.
Other than maybe a wrestler that's cutting weight, that adds a different dynamic. But I think that the way we train in the offseason, the way we train during the season, we are in shape. So I don't see them break stance very often.
Right.
We do have some younger guys coming through, so I might see that more as they come through.
We used to do a lot of muscle-specific lifting. Of course, we were doing all Olympic lifts and stuff that were just for power and explosion.
Right.
And of course, you try to split everything up into like your Vulcan phase or your toning phase, and be like in the fall you want to try to work on some agility stuff. And
right.
We've been implementing a lot of agility stuff even now, just to kind of get it going. And a little bit of explosion stuff too. But
what about during the season?
During the season, to be honest with you, we try to lift.
Right.
But we do a lot of circuit training. Like Coach will put the kids through a lot of circuits.
We call it the gauntlet.
They
got that from Steve Garland and kind of borrowed it from some of the things that I do in like just boot camp classes and things like that are pretty intense.
And of course we do a lot of plate stuff.
Right.
During season. But that's a lot of we don't get really good in there and lift because we try.
With good pastor, one thing he does do is he suggests going in there once a week and knocking out 5 sets of 5 on a couple of your core lifts,
like your bench. And
stuff.
And we're gonna
I have to do incline. I'm not a big. I don't like the bar when you're benching. I think that you get more of a range of motion, and I think that the flat bench, it really doesn't do anything for. I think I think that an incline, position is a better
deeper.
way.
It's a deeper
range
incline
of
and
motion.
decline's deeper.
Yeah.
And the balance.
Yeah.
We do a lot.
Exactly.
Of course, we focus on our core a lot and our back. Just wrestle a lot of those pulling motions and pushing motions, and of course, like a lot of our kids are meatheads. We make them fall in love in the weight room, and then they take off.
Why can't kids in this generation go 90 degrees? Why can't they go parallel on a squat?
Coaches.
Oh, I'm sorry. You may not be able to do 190 pounds or 200 pounds or 500 pounds.
Put a bench so they sit down on.
It's just so.
Do a box squat because that's going to get them.
I think that's what we have to go to because our kids, I'm watching them squat. It's like.
Yeah. That and
what about you guys at St. Chris? You guys have that facility out there with that. Who's that trainer out there at St. Chris?
Shad Pospa, last name. We just call him Shad. Shad and Bill Blanton do a great job in the fall and the spring.
Facility.
We've got a facility that being out at the Olympic Training Center, our facility at St. Chris is probably just as good, if not better.
Keep trying to sneak in there to keep kicking me out.
My brother's done work over there, man. Mike, I'm gonna give you a little shout out, man.
Doing work.
He says that the food there at the St. Chris,
amazing.
Food in the cafeteria, man, is delicious.
Amazing.
So if you ever get a chance, get a lift in. Go get a meal at St. Chris.
Yeah, say you're Ross.
Say you're Ross Katomer. Just print off a picture of a hobbit or something.
There you go.
Yes.
And getting back to the subject.
Maybe a picture of Luigi and Mario. One of them. Go in there.
Oh, it's Katomer and Previous.
Hey guys.
And if you had a third one, who happens to be black, then it would be Jonathan Pope. Anyway, in the fall and the spring, Shad puts our wrestlers through. Shad and Blanton put our wrestlers through their circuit. I've seen guys start the summer, really, really thin. Like when Joey Prada came in as a rising freshman.
You could tell a lot of work.
Yeah, and by the time he hits the beginning of school, he had already gained some size. I remember
thinking that.
And our guys get bigger and thicker. Now during the season, we don't go down and lift, but we have 50 pound. We have sandbags. We do a lot of pull-ups. We do. Coach Gordon puts them through circuits, and we're one of the last schools around that actually uses ropes to climb. We have climbing ropes.
We talked about putting some
we just don't have the height for that.
Maybe putting some parallel ropes to our floor going up so they can do some monkey stuff.
I'd like to do that. I don't know if our facility will be able to do that. I also like a lot of CrossFit people do, like for your bigger guys. Okay, you're too big to do a lot of pull-ups. You put those straps on that you can kind of stand on and do assistance.
Kind of like a Gravitron.
Yeah, but on a Gravitron, because of the machine.
Is that like old school, like go to like a boardwalk and get on the Gravitron and you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You ever been on a Gravitron?
No.
Somebody type it up. Like a boardwalk
all three of you
Gravitron.
Okay, everybody hasn't put to sleep yet.
Remember where I grew up. Is there a boardwalk in central Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
There's a Jersey Shore.
Dude, you have
Yes,
a county fair or something?
Aha!
No, we have
Gravitron though, man.
We have
gives you a natural, like straight up headache.
We have
Right away.
The Grange Fair.
Oh,
Yes,
the Grange.
The Grange Fair.
A reference to giving away land so people go out and.
It's like that thing that spins and like sucks you to the wall.
Oh, I know what you're talking
the
about.
rotor.
Yeah.
In Hershey Park, it's known as the rotor.
And
That thing.
and the floor drops out.
That's it.
Oh,
I hate
gives you a
that.
headache.
Yeah, I hate that.
You
I
want
did
to
drink
talk?
a Slurpee after
You want to
that.
talk mental toughness, man? Get on Gravitron.
And then
stay on
don't
it.
drink a Slurpee afterward. Just ride that pain out. That you want to just jump off a roller coaster.
You go get
at
the
Hershey
You
Park.
find the greasiest food possible, stuff your face, and get on the Gravitron.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Like fried like Oreos or whatever the hell's available because they fry everything at that
We
thing.
get on. What we got now? We got shout outs?
No, let's talk about Vawa State's coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh,
I-
live on location.
I think we're gonna.
A lot of that.
That's Saturday at the Richmond International Raceway. That's
Oh yeah, go on the race tomorrow. You people in Richmond, look for us. Boss will be there.
Not at the race.
Not the race. I'll be at the race, but
Thank you, Mr. Edmonds,
Race,
by the way.
I'm not gonna do a race prediction.
Don't.
Jamie McMurray used to wrestle.
Okay,
Talk about that.
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Jamie
Don't.
McMurray used to wrestle.
Anyway,
Okay.
so getting back to Vawa State's in a couple of weeks, they'll be at the Arthur Ashe Center in Richmond.
Mhm.
We're planning on doing a broadcast from the Arthur Ashe Center. If you're interested in maybe stopping in and sitting down for a minute or two, I have some ideas, some people I'd like to talk to.
Coaches only or
No, we'll talk to everybody.
wrestlers?
Well, wrestlers.
I'll find out wrestlers.
Let's not talk to BC LaPrade.
No,
Let's
BC
talk to
LaPrade.
everybody, but
No.
not BC.
No, BC LaPrade and some others, Carter
We're
Davis.
drawing a line,
Band. Yeah, not going to happen.
but we will talk to CO Tech.
We will talk to CO Tech.
That is a
No,
given.
there's tons. I mean, Ed will be there. I'd love to talk to Ed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about having him on.
Homer. We're talking to
Yeah.
all those guys.
And our treasurer, Steve Crocker.
I feel like that's gonna be a longer episode.
Weber,
Yeah.
Daryl Weber.
Oh, yeah. And it can be one of
We
those
might have
things.
to cut it down. We have to film it.
Yeah, what we might have to do is it might not be like a live episode, but rather than we'll kind of shoot little segments from Vawa States throughout the weekend, and then like maybe post it on
Talk
Monday.
about what you were gonna do with the GoPro, man.
Now, here's an idea I have, and you can send me feedback on this on Facebook or email. I've got a little Go cam, it's about yay big. And what I'm thinking about doing is attaching it either here or to my head and giving you a perspective of what it's like to be my height. And no, I'm going to talk to wrestlers, coach, and so you kind of get like a view from down where I am. Could be good.
I like that idea.
From floor level.
Yeah, from floor level, and that's what we can call it.
Can we film when we go to Banditos for lunch? Can we film that too? Or that was
We'll
fun.
keep the camera on.
Yeah, well, I have an actual video camera. If we're gonna go, if we're gonna record it, then yeah, we can bring that and just set it down. I've got another little mini tripod for it.
Because guys, man, we started doing this
Got the
podcast,
tripod right
and
there.
this video podcast, because this is what we do
Trust
on a
me,
regular
it's right
weekend
there.
anyway. And we just kind of want to put it out there a little bit, and it's a good way to kind of promote the sport
Yep.
in a different type of way.
Yep.
Some other people are doing some other things. This is a way that we think we can get back to it, especially in the Central Virginia area, and especially to help out Vawa, man, because like I said, we need to have everyone on the same page.
Yep. And we are.
We're doing a good job, and
things
people
are
are tuning in. Thank you guys so much. I still want some free stuff.
Free stuff, please.
Yeah, free is better
so give
than
us some ideas,
having money
you know,
exchange hands.
You guys did a good job
Anything.
of, like seeing who you want to see. Like Danny Trent sent me some awesome names. People that he think would be cool to kind of interview that we could kind of set up.
Cool.
And that'd be kind of cool. Like Coach Yetzer from Fargo, man.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome,
That'd be
dude.
We'd like to bring. He'd
I'd
be
like to
all
bring
about.
Brandon Bradley, and he'll be this guy's awesome to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
Did a good job. And, that was one suggestion. I mean,
Will they be at Vawa States?
They might be.
They might be.
Brandon Bradley.
Last year.
Yeah, Brandon Bradley would probably show up. And again, we're
I want to see Darren. I want to interview Daryl Weber and say, can you stop sending me all that crap about how much you win and beat the crap out of us via email? I really appreciate that.
Hey, man.
Anyway,
Remember, top shelf.
He is.
He's a good guy.
He is a really good guy.
So let's kind of wrap things up here.
Wrap it
You
up.
got any shout-outs?
Huh?
Shout-outs?
Shout-outs, man. Coach Brotman again. Broughton.
Oh,
Nathan Broughton.
man.
Shout out to him, man.
Really appreciate him coming
He was
out.
coming down to the
Great
new
guy.
Awesome having him around, man.
Beating up your kids.
Oh,
Beating the living crap out of everybody in that room.
You know, just getting after it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, fully grown, like, upper weight. Not caring what weight you are. He's on you. He's getting after it.
How
Let's
about
give a shout out to that guy.
How about viewer Kim Brittingham, Miss Brittingham, teacher at New Kent?
Awesome.
Awesome lady.
Thanks for tuning in, man.
Tuned in. Doesn't know much about wrestling.
But just likes the comic relief. So who's the Phantom Menace?
Who's the
Phantom Menace?
Who is the Phantom Menace?
You know what I always liked about that movie is the guy that was bald, black, and had like horns.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to paint myself up like that one day.
Like
And
Darth
just, like,
Maul?
walk around.
You wouldn't.
Yes.
You just
That
need some
guy,
horns.
awesome.
He died, dude, like pretty quick, man. Like they made him look like he was so tough. He like died.
He went against Obi-Wan.
You know, which
He's not gonna win that. And Qualon. It's Liam Neeson, coach.
He's like that brand new wrestler.
He ain't beating Liam Neeson.
He's like that kid that comes in your wrestling at the beginning of the season, like
Goodbye. If
that kid
anybody would
who,
kidnap
like,
you,
has, like,
I'd go Liam
nice
Neeson.
shoes and like looks
Just
kind of
five
tough
up.
and like kind of looks like he's been in the gym a little bit. You get him out there and he's just soft.
Does he have a
That's
USA
Darth
Wrestling
Maul.
tattoo?
No, that's Darth Maul, right?
Yeah, he'll have a USA Wrestling tattoo.
Who's that?
Not any of those guys would look like they're really, really tough.
Yeah.
That, got all the gear. Their shoes are all ripped up. They've got like some singlet from some
I
obscure
don't know
club,
who you are.
and they've got a USA Wrestling
But I don't have
tattoo.
money.
And
But what I do have is a specific set of skills.
Oh.
That's what I do. I do like, you
Liam.
have good body. Oh yeah. Well, here I got this. Oh, another shout out. Coach White Grafton, who unfortunately is not going to be coaching Grafton next year, asked me to give a shout out to him. Awesome guy.
Coach White, man, awesome.
He's going to land somewhere good.
I had a great talk with him.
Yeah.
At the Lancer.
Very easy guy to talk
Not
to.
Lancer Open, Lancer Invitational.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good dude,
Just
man.
a good fella.
You know, been around like the Bay Rivers area for a long time, man. That's awesome. Roper, Tab,
Roper,
you know,
Teacher of the Year, York County.
no way.
Coach Roper,
Wow,
yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Let's give a shout out to the Darber family for coming up working out with us
Appreciate
last
that.
night, man.
Appreciate
You
that.
know,
that kid's tough.
kid's tough, man.
Kid's
Tougher than a $3 steak, Prebish.
I never had a $3
right.
steak, man. Which is delicious.
It's
Depends
like a
where you
tin
get
can.
Yeah.
You know, it's good.
But,
like
I'm
in those
gonna
Kinsey
shout
Night
out
commercials.
Shout outs. I really don't have.
Didn't
any
we just have
shout-outs.
shout outs? We
Oh,
just shouted
Katie.
out.
Katie Craig,
Oh,
former parent and former New Kent wrestler.
Tony Craig.
You know, like she said she's gonna try to tune in.
Good.
Well, let's give a shout out to my team leader Matt Prophet for being like asking me like when he like saw this video for the first time and he was like, none of you guys are married. And I was
Really?
like, thanks
Nothing
for pointing
going
that
on
out.
there
You know,
at all.
you know. I mean, and my brother who said this shouldn't be a video
You
podcast.
should be married.
This shouldn't be a video podcast because we're ugly dudes. And I say we're beautiful.
Oh,
human
man, look at
beings.
this. I got this going on.
And
You know, shout out to me. I'm good. You know, Danny Trent, you suck.
Yeah, Danny Trent.
hey, he said
Oh,
good
you
show,
said-
guys.
Is that DT?
Yeah.
I thought it was RDT. That's Danny Trent.
No, it's not David Taylor. David Taylor can't type.
You can't
He
type.
probably, he's probably banned from the computer at this point in his life.
Hey, the main thing is, Prebish, on your cup. What does it say?
It
Red
says,
Solo Cup.
"I will toss you, Carter."
Carter Davis, tune in, buddy.
Carter Davis is the
And
Phantom
your
Menace.
Really?
The
Carter
Phantom
Davis
Menace.
is the Phantom Menace.
I was wondering, you know, man.
Yeah.
about that.
And-
Awesome.
And with that, let's see, Gordonism of the week.
I love it.
Gordonism of the week. Fellas, you gotta put the time in. You gotta be
time
willing,
in.
you gotta be willing to
We
do.
put a good amount of time in
You gotta be
today.
willing to do just one more, fellas. Hey, good job with that.
Possibly.
Let the man finish his Gordonism. I'm pissed. You ruined the end of the podcast, boss.
Hey, good job, boss. Finish it out. That's showing some leadership right there. I'm done.
Next week it might be a different time because we might be going from an outside venue. That's a possibility. So check your local listings, i.e. Facebook.
Check your Facebook. Check GrecoMoses.com, and we are
And my
on.
Facebook, because whenever Prebish sets it out, I send it
He
out.
copies.
Send it in, Jerome.
He copies. And also, we're on Ustream.tv. After this broadcast, I will figure out how to get it up to YouTube and then post it all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, send us messages with comments, concerns. And if you do go to GrecoMoses.com and see where we have the Talkin' Wrestling page, you can email me with suggestions, comments, if you would like to be a guest on our show.
I think one should be Gatomer.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Which one is he?
He's not. He's probably not here.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a little early today.
Yeah, it's a little early today.
Early.
So, anyway, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, all 10 of you, thank you for tuning in tonight. And we're going to be out of here in a second. Woo!
Have a good day, everybody. Good week.